Hello! I'm a bit closer to you than usual because I wanted to show you some recent pickups. My family and I went on a trip to Reno, Nevada this past weekend, and I scored some stuff as well as a couple packages I got in from eBay. So firstly, I scored pretty well at a Goodwill in Reno, Nevada. I got Maleficent, which I can't believe I didn't have on physical media yet, but I didn't. What I like about these Disney ones is it comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. Also a digital code, but those have usually already been redeemed when you get them used. Incidentally, I also scored this Maleficent figure you see behind me during that same trip to Reno at a game store that was in the mall. Next up we have the underrated A Bug's Life. This is also a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack, so that saves me some time and space. This one, interestingly, I was very happy about because Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the last thing I had to get to own everything from the Halloween franchise on physical media. Until they reboot it eventually, of course. At my favorite local hunting ground, I recently found Scream 2. But during the Reno trip, I found at that same Goodwill store Scream 3 and Scream 4. So believe it or not, I don't own the first one yet. So I'm considering getting that steelbook version though that I've seen floating around. That looks really cool. But I at least want to own the 4 that are directed by Wes Craven. I'll decide on the rest later. I was just mentioning this movie to my husband, Boys on the Side, and then we went into the store and it was there and it was so funny. But I thought I had a copy of this, but I think it got left behind with my mother's things after she passed. I know absolutely nothing about this movie. I just picked it up because of the cast. Robert Redford, James Gandolfini, Mark Ruffalo, and Delroy Lindo. It's called The Last Castle. I have no idea what it's about, but the cast was enough to sell me. And I got a couple classics here. Vertigo and Gaslight. Very excited about those. Also while on the Reno trip, we went to another thrift store. It was a Salvation Army one, I believe. And I picked up Booksmart and Newsies. I was kind of surprised to see Booksmart, especially a sealed copy, because it's a, relatively recent film. But I enjoyed this very much when I first saw it, and it's been a while, so I'm due a rewatch. And Newsies I have actually never seen, which is crazy because Disney's like half my personality. While we were in Reno, we went to a very large Barnes & Noble that was having a sale on these steelbooks. So I got Kiki's Delivery Service and Howl's Moving Castle. The funny thing about Howl's Moving Castle is we had just come from a coffee shop that had it playing. And so I told my husband, I said, oh, this is the one that was on in the coffee shop. It was so funny. It was kind of like that with that trip. Anytime I mentioned a movie, I would then find it. But anyway, these are marked $26.99, which is already a pretty good deal, I think, for this kind of steelbook with the Blu-ray. It has Blu-ray and DVD, actually. But they were discounted more, so I believe I got them for $21.99 each. I'm so used to buying used media that seems like a big investment to me, but it's actually a very good deal. So I was on eBay looking for a copy of The Heavenly Kid when I found a seller who had these two 80s double feature DVDs. We have Teen Witch, The Heavenly Kid, and then on this one we have Once Bitten and Vampire's Kiss. I've actually never seen Vampire's Kiss. I have seen Once Bitten and Teen Witch, but don't really remember them very well. All I remember from Teen Witch is that like rap battle scene because it burns into your brain. You can't help it. So yeah, I'm really excited about The Heavenly Kid especially. I think it's a very underrated film. I rewatched it recently and I was just like, wow. The things you watch a lot when you're a kid and you're nostalgic about, and you rewatch them as an adult and you're like, ugh, this is terrible. But The Heavenly Kid was actually better than I remember, so score. Okay, I also went on eBay looking for the original cover of 6 Ways to Sunday. If you're familiar with my Brody channel, you'll know I have a ridiculous reprint that they put out after he became famous, where it's just basically a giant photo of Adrian with Deborah Harry in the background. But I've been searching for the actual cover here that puts Norman Reedus front and center since he is the star of the movie. That same seller offered combined shipping, so I went through and looked at their other items and found out they also had this 2015 For Your Consideration Emmy booklet here with all these, and that includes Houdini, starring one Adrian Brody, shocking. That was a mini-series on the History Channel. So these are all the History Channel things that they wanted considered for the Emmys. Adrian actually did end up getting an Emmy nomination for that. I don't know how the rest of these turned out though. Another one I bought strictly because of the cast, Cradle Will Rock. I don't know a thing about this film, but apparently it is directed by Tim Robbins. And it stars Hank Azaria, Ruben Blades, or Blades, depending on where you're from, Joan Cusack, John Cusack, Carrie Elwes, Angus McFadden, Bill Murray, Vanessa Redgrave, Susan Sarandon, John Turturro, and Emily Watson. So, I mean, that's a pretty stacked cast. So I honestly don't even care what it's about. I just want to watch it. That same seller also had Loving on a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. It also has a digital copy. I'm not sure if that'll be expired or not, but this is sealed, so it won't have been redeemed. So maybe. This is another film I was shocked to find out I don't have in my collection, and that is The Color Purple. I think I had it on a VHS that was recorded from TV because I remember watching it quite a few times as a kid, so this is just a fantastic film. Whoopi Goldberg should have gotten her first Oscar for this instead of Ghost. Don't get me wrong, she still should have gotten one for Ghost, but she should have won this one first. And here's a movie I've been putting off watching and purchasing, but it was such a good price here. It was 99 cents, I believe. Plus, it was all grouped in with this one flat rate for shipping from this seller. So I got Mystic River. I know I've already been warned that as a parent, this is going to be very hard to take. It just seems like it's worth the time and the pain, but we'll see. I scored a copy of Braindead, also called Dead Alive, which is a Peter Jackson horror film, which was deemed at the time the goriest film of all time, so I'm bracing myself for that. I have a hard time with gore and body horror and things like that, so this will be interesting. I'm hoping it doesn't change my opinion of Peter Jackson any, but if anything, I think I'll just be impressed. I see Fran Walsh is credited as Frances Walsh at this time. Thank you to my fellow YouTuber who told me to look for this title instead of Braindead, because apparently this is what it was called in North America. I got this from a seller in Canada, by the way. So the DVD region is the same for Canada, and I believe Mexico as well. So they can be played here. Hi, post-production Patricia here. Apparently I somehow stopped my recording before I did an outro, so that was the end of the haul. But I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.